Adam here with the Walzer Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have a 2025 Hyundai Tucson. We'll look at the interior, exterior, some of the model updates for 25, then go for a spin around, see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 25 Hyundai Tucson, and this is going to be the SEL convenience trim. This also has the H-Track or the all-wheel drive, so that would be a few different added features, but I think this is a really good sweet spot in the Tucson lineup. Now we have to start with some updates for the 2025 model. On the outside, you're going to notice the grille, there's a little bit different wheels, and the bumper design has changed a little bit. It's kind of a mid-cycle refresh here, but it does look really good. Now from there, on the inside, the optional infotainment system has also changed. We've got a 12.3-inch display, kind of two single displays, unless you're looking at the base model, then you would keep kind of more of the analog gauges, but this one gives you the full digital gauge cluster infotainment. It looks really cool and does feel really nice in here, and also works very well. Now, one last change for 25, they did tweak the steering wheel just a little bit. This particular package gets the leather wrap steering wheel. You've got buttons on both sides. It makes it really easy and safe when you're on the go to pretty much access and use what you need to use. Okay, so now that we got some of the updates out of the way, we've got our phones with us as we typically always do, and I've got wireless charging down here and wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. So that makes it very convenient and safe when you're on the go. You've also got USB-C charging down there if you'd like, but the wireless Apple CarPlay, this system is seamless. It's really quick, easy to use, and it just makes it so safe and simple when you're on the go. So speaking of that, let's put it in drive, we'll go for a spin around and touch on some more features. Now, let's begin with what powers the Hyundai Tucson. Now, there is, to note, a hybrid model in the Tucson lineup, but for this particular one, we've got a 2.5-liter four-cylinder. So what that means with the H-Track, or the all-wheel drive system that we have here, we're still looking at about 30 mpg on the highway, or about high 20s combined. So that's pretty awesome mpgs when you're considering kind of these crossover SUVs, and if you want even better, you can jump up over to the hybrid. Now from the exterior, this particular color might be one of my favorite colors on sale today. This is the Rockwood Green. It works on the Santa Fe, on the Tucson, especially on the Santa Cruz as well. It is such a deep kind of olive color. It looks really cool and accents the silver and the black very nicely. I just think it works really well with this Hyundai lineup, and it is absolutely one to consider if you're thinking about the Tucson. Now, a few other things on the exterior, like I said, up front, that bumper did get a little bit of a refresh. So it's going to be a little bit different style. These have those really cool LED headlights on the SEL convenience package here. So at night, you can definitely kind of notice when you see these coming at you. It's kind of a bold, aggressive look to it, but it also provides a lot of great nighttime safety with those bright LED lights. Now, the wheel design is going to be a little bit different. This particular one with the 18-inch wheels is going to be a good design. Like I said, that silver kind of pops against the darker green. It looks good, and there's a few different wheel options depending on which package that you might be looking at. A few other things on the exterior, this particular one gets a power liftgate. So whether it's on the key fob or pushing the button in the back, or there's a cool feature you can turn on where you just kind of stand behind the vehicle, it'll blink 5 times and then it'll pick open the tailgate for you. So if you got a bunch of stuff in your hands, loading up groceries, that is a pretty nice convenience feature. Just makes it really easy, and then when you're in the back, there's quite a bit of room back there. There's also a spare tire. I know that's a question we get a lot. This one doesn't have the mobility kit and actually has a physical spare back there underneath the floor, and there's little kind of storage cubbies in the back as well as a 12-volt plug. So if you got one of those coolers, going camping, you can easily load up the Tucson that way. Then if you need a little bit more space, this one also gets a 60-40 split rear seats. So there's convenient handles in the back, so you can pull them there. Even on the side seats, you can pull that part of the handle. It'll fold down and click in so the seats won't move around. It's a pretty cool setup that does work really nicely. From the interior of this particular one, starting, like I said, in the back, there's lots of room, but in the second row, I'm always surprised just how much space these Tucsons get. Some of these crossover SUVs, the roof lines get really small, and I'm 6'1", so I don't always fit in the back, but the Tucson, I had no issues. I had knee space back there, plenty of headroom, and this one even gets the sunroof up above, and if you're looking at higher tier trim levels or the Limited, you can even get the panoramic sunroof, which is also really nice. But in the driver's seat, lots of comfort up here. Now this is a power seat, and this material is actually an H-Tex, they call it. So it's kind of like a mock leather, but it wears really nicely and it's super easy to clean. The kids are in the back, they're spilling food back there, you simply can just wipe it off. A lot of these new manufacturers are going to this kind of mock leather material, but like I said, just because of the way it wears easily and it's super easy to clean, plus these are also heated seats for the driver and the passenger. As you work your way through the lineup, you can even get heated seats in the back, so there's a lot of niceties and kind of luxury features out of these vehicles. But from the driver's seat, like I said, this one has that leather wrap steering wheel. It's really comfortable in your hands. I like the way it's kind of laid out. And then, like I said, it got a few tweaks for 25. So on the left side, you can go through the digital gauge cluster here and kind of keep track of all your pertinent information, whether it's looking at the all-wheel drive or your MPGs. That is pretty cool. And you can also change some of your safety settings in there. So you can kind of click hold OK and it'll pop open the menu on the side over here. There is a ton of safety in these Hyundai vehicles, whether it's things like the adaptive cruise control, which you can set that 3, 2, 1 car length ahead of you. There's a lane keeping assist or kind of a lane mitigation system, emergency braking. Obviously, if you and your family are in the vehicle, you're going to want to make sure you're safe, and Hyundai absolutely delivers on that front, and the Tucson in the SEL convenience does get a lot of pretty cool safety. Not to mention the backup camera is crystal clear, and when you put it in reverse, the digital gauge cluster shows you the little car, and if someone, maybe you're backing out of the driveway, can't quite see, but they're coming up behind you, it can actually stop the vehicle, so you're not bumping into someone behind you. That is pretty cool and very convenient. With the Apple CarPlay, text messaging, Google Maps, Spotify, it's all built right into here. The stereo is pretty good in here, but you can even bump up, I think, to the Bose system in the Limited. It does make a pretty big difference, but it's not too bad in here as well. Plus, with that CarPlay, you can even use Siri on the steering wheel. So if I press and hold the voice control button here, it actually pops up Siri and I can use my phone then that way, so I'm not messing with my phone at all when I'm on the go. It's an easy, safe way to pay attention to the road and just use the buttons on the wheel. Now beyond that, they did make a little bit of a tweak to the dash here, so you do have some physical buttons because this does have the built-in navigation. So you can click the map button in here. There's actually a button where you can pull up the backup camera, I think when you're going pretty slow or stopped. So if the kids left something in the driveway, trying to see, like I said, out of the parking spot, you can quickly click that, which is pretty nice. And you've got the auto hold, so the car won't roll when you're at a stop sign, and then the all-wheel drive lock if you're doing some wintertime driving. This one also gets the dual zone climate control. So if there's two of you in here, you were complaining about the temperature one way or the other, you can easily change that temperature, and it just makes it really nice and, again, very comfortable when you're on the go. This is a vehicle that you hop in, you can set the lumbar, the power seat on this side, like I said, you're comfortable. It's really easy to drive. Nothing is overcomplicated in here. You get the keys, you can even remote start it on the key fob, which is really nice. There's a digital key you can do, so that's pretty cool as well, where you don't even need the physical key with you. Push button start. On the outside, it's even a keyless entry, so if you got the gloves on in the wintertime, the vehicle's gonna be fired up, warmed up for you. I love that it comes on the key fob. It's not an additional service, just makes it really easy. So for the most part, there's, like I said, the heated H-Tex seats are so nice in here. I love that there's a few different interior options, but this tan with that rockwood green, again, just works really nicely and looks so cool to me. I think if you're in the market, whether you're shopping Honda, Toyota, Nissan, there's so many great crossover SUVs right now, it really is hard to make a choice. Now, speaking of the warranty, Hyundai has one of the best out right now, a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. So you can do a lot of miles behind the wheel, pretty much worry-free. And if you're planning on keeping this vehicle a long time, Hyundai puts a lot of confidence behind these vehicles that they're gonna be, working and how you'd want them to be for many, many miles to come. Now we do have to touch on the price. So pricing on the MSRP for the SEL convenience is going to come in around $36,000. So that's with the all-wheel drive and everything. At time of filming, there's a few discounts, so it's a little back of that, but you can obviously take away some equipment if you want to go to the base model, or bump up even to the Limited if you want some more. There's a lot of really cool ways to configure these Tucsons. So whether it's the hybrid or maybe you just want the base model, there's so much cool technology, equipment, and style in these Tucsons. So I think if you're in the market for a new crossover SUV, you're cross-shopping around, I think the Tucson has to be on your list to come out, take for a spin, and see what you think. Now that was just a quick look and drive at the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. Now if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by either one of our Hyundai locations. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.